Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. It is Candace. I am the owner of Neon Kandi, and today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be diving in with makeup brushes one-on-one. And in this particular one, it's working with one eyeshadow color and pretty much just working on blending and really just focusing on how to build up a color. Today I just wanted to create a really simple eye look using only two eyeshadows, one shimmer, one matte, and that's pretty much the entire video. I do want to advise that my eyes are really watering right now, and I don't know if it's because of the type of pigment that they use on their eyeshadow, but this eye is literally really watering. So if you see it water up, I'm sorry, but I'm probably going to be taking a little bit of breaks here and there to clean up the eye because my eye seems to be going crazy right now, and I can feel it popping up like, ugh. If you're not part of the family already, I hope you do enjoy this video enough to become part of our family. The button to subscribe is right below us. And if you would love to see how I created this simple but super bold and easy maintained look, then go ahead and stay tuned. So like I stated earlier in the video, I used one matte and one shimmer to complete this whole entire look. I actually used a palette I created with ColourPop about like 3 years ago. This is a really old palette. And to be honest with you, I haven't at all used the shadows. As you can tell, the palette has not been used whatsoever. The shadows we use today are just this one and this one. This is Going Steady, and the shimmer is Snake Eyes. So before we get into the tutorial, I really wanted to go over a few key items before we go ahead and get started. When you hold your makeup brush, you should really be holding it the way that you would if you were to write with a pen or a pencil. You really want to have a nice firm grip when it comes to holding out the brush. For one, you want to be comfortable with it. You're applying makeup and you're blending, or you're shadowing, you're doing some kind of detail work, or you're applying color. Either way, you want to have a good firm hold on the brush, and by holding it like you're writing a pencil or pen is going to ensure that you're holding the brush the correct way. The second point I want to touch on is that how you're holding it, you want to rest the actual brush on your middle finger and then have your index finger rest on top of that. And what happens is that your thumb kind of folds over the brush, and that's exactly what you want as well. That's another way of making sure that the brush itself is in a secure hold and it's not going to fall off, it's not going to do any other movements other than what you are really wishing to accomplish. Main brush, hold it on so that it lays on top of the middle finger. The thumb curves over, and then your index finger like basically rests over that. Now, depending on how you're holding the brush, at the bottom, in the middle, or in the top, it all depends on what your end goal really is for the entire makeup look. To me, when you are holding it too close, that means A, you need to change the handle, and then B, you're also not really going to get the blending that you want, and you're going to work 2 or 3 times harder to really get that blend. The best way to get the blend that you are wanting to achieve is that the best way to do it is to hold it at the end and then blend. By doing it this way, you're actually controlling it a lot better. And see how my fingers are still in that same kind of hold? It's still resting on the middle, the index still curves over, and I have my thumb right here. So even when I'm holding it at the bottom, I'm still able to achieve and get a better detail of the entire eye look that I'm trying to achieve. So what I want to point out is that when you hold the brush this close and you're blending out, yes, it gives you more control of the actual brush itself, but this is only great to really apply the shadow onto your eye rather than blending out. Because like I said before, you have a lot of control here, so you're not really going to be able to blend out anything because you're so like holding it tight up front, which gives you less control to really blend out the product. When you hold the brush in the middle, like a more soft look on your blending, and then when you hold it like this at the end, when you hold the brush at the end like this, you give it less pressure, which basically gives you actually more control of the actual brush for blending and buffing out the actual eyeshadow color. So like I was saying earlier, when you hold it this way, Yes, you may seem like you're going to be going flimsy, but if you're holding the brush the correct way, you're applying less pressure. The end goal of blending is to create that soft effect, to create that gradient look, to create more of a hue of different colors. It looks like you have less control because it blushes like this, but in reality you have more control because you're able to blend everything out. The best thing that I can definitely say is by holding at this end, you're going to get the end result that you're wanting to achieve. Like I was saying earlier, you definitely want to have a balance when it comes to holding out your makeup brushes. If your makeup brush is too long for you, then I would definitely recommend getting a shorter handle on all your brushes. And honestly, it might be with your fingers, because for me, I have really long fingers. So having a longer brush that can actually, hold on and like grab it with my long ass fingers is like the best. But for someone who may have smaller hands, having a longer handle isn't going to suffice for you, and vice versa. Well, so it just really depends on your preference, but your end goal really is to make sure you are in control of your brush. And if that means you feel more comfortable holding the brush with a shorter handle than a longer handle like this one, then please do so. Get one, because it's going to help you feel more comfortable and get more kind of settled in on working out that eyeshadow color. So those are my quick little tips when it comes to holding the makeup brush, how to apply it, things like that, as far as getting more comfortable on holding the brush. And so with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the actual makeup tutorial. So we use those two colors today, and while I'm talking, I'm going to be showing the video here so you can see how in depth or whatever, like in real time, so you guys aren't like, what's going on? You're supposed to be showing us blending technique. One matte, one shimmer. And the makeup brushes that I use today are the same makeup brushes that I showed you in our previous video on makeup brushes one-on-one. So the first brush I use, this one I just used to really blend out my concealer. This is a angled brush, and this actually came from my old company, Spectra. So really love this angle brush. I use this for carving out my brows and really just applying the concealer. Guys, we're gonna go ahead and apply the concealer. And by applying the concealer, I'm using the LA Girl concealer, and this is in the shade Fawn, and I'm just applying it on my lid. And then what I'm doing is spreading it out just a little bit with that same brush, which is the Spectra angle brush that I have here. We're gonna take my small sponge and we're just going to blend everything out, make sure everything is on the same level of thickness, and then we're gonna move on to the eyeshadow. The second brush we used was this blending brush. This is the same brush that I showed you in the previous video. It is a blending brush, and it has a tip at the end, just a slight tip. It's kind of like shaped like a little dome, as you guys can see here. This is the brush we use to apply the main color and to blend out. So like I said before, we're going to be using this shade here, which is called Going Steady. And I do want to advise you on this. If there's only one thing you get out of this entire video, please tap it. Tap, 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 tap it out. Because what you don't want to have on your brush is so much product on there, and then when you apply it, it's just like this big ass clump of color, and it's annoying and it's not cute and it's hard to blend out, and then you're like, fudge, like, oh, I gotta do it all over again. Okay, once you get the product done, make sure you tap it. You can tap with your finger, you can tap it on the edge of the palette. Just tap it, just make sure you tap it. Okay, tap. So basically what I'm doing is I'm looking down as I'm applying the shadow to make sure I don't have any fallout, and then I'm just pressing it into the actual concealer. And what I'm doing is I'm going through the entire lid and I'm working it all the way up to my crease. I'm making sure that the eyeshadow was good to go on the lid, and then I'm starting at the crease. I think at the end of the crease is how I started it, and then I blend my way inward. I'm starting off in small circular motions by holding the makeup brush again at the end to have more control, but it looks like I have less. And then I'm going in circular motions on creating that nice blend all the way to my inner corner of my eye. And then once I have that done, then I go in with windshield wiper motions to really blend everything together. And I basically repeat those same steps until I get the color hue that I wanted. I basically just kept building up the color until I got what I really wanted to have as far as a nice, deep, pinky purple color. The second brush that we used is this brush. This is a taper blending brush from Sigma. This is their E40. And I use this to blend everything at the end, just make sure everything is nice and blended out. And then what I did is I took the taper blending brush and I just repeated those same steps of doing small circular motions and then blending to the inner corner of my eye. And then I went into windshield wiper motions again just to really get in there and blend everything out. And that's it. I brought the color down to my lower lash line, and then that's pretty much it as far as the blending goes. And then to apply the shimmer, we use this small brush here. This one I believe is from BH Cosmetics, and it's a small, flat, really dense brush here. What I really like about this brush is that it's so small to do tiny little areas, but yet it leaves with a great impact. So even though it's small and tiny, it's really getting in those areas that you just can't use a big brush for, and that is perfect. And so I really just stayed within the lines of my inner corner of my eye. I didn't really want to bring it outside of that because I really want to open up my eyes. I have hooded eyes, so that's why I'm always doing like this, just so you guys can see the actual color, because my lids disappear when I do like that. So to really get in the inner corner of my eye, what I normally do is look down again and at an angle to really get in between there with a small little brush. After that, that is literally it. I just popped on some mascara and some lashes, and that is literally the entire look. It's super simple, like you don't need any type of technical things to do when it comes to this look, but with one matte shadow and one shimmer, you can definitely achieve this nice fall natural tone look. You can also put on a wing liner and really just jazz it up and add on a little bit more of a flare to it. But for me, I really wanted to keep this really simple for you guys so you can see how easy it is to achieve one look without having to have like a gajillion colors in the palette. For future videos on blending one-on-one, if you guys want to see me do a 3-color, 4-color, or a specific look on Instagram, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to create something like that for you guys, and just really getting more in depth with the blending on adding different colors and how to make sure you add them together, or making sure they don't bleed to the other side, like things like that. I would love to go more thorough with you guys, but I thought today would be a very simple look so that you guys pretty much can see how this can be created. If you did like this video, please do give it a good thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. It gives me as a creator, as well as a business owner, what kind of content you guys will love to see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm just really thankful for you guys, and thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you become part of the fam after watching this video, and if you haven't, please watch any other videos that we have here. And so thank you so much again for watching, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Peace.